Shadow Spurs here. I wanted to give you an update on where things stand with the manager, and the fact that we're staring into the abyss right now. Old Trafford, it wasn't a disaster per se. Some will say Romero saved Frank's job, but we're not struggling here. We're fighting for our lives in the Premier League, and I think the board is somewhat sleepwalking into trouble because they think that we're too big to fail. And we're not. I can share, I know for a fact that Vivienne wants Pochettino back, and talks have happened, preliminary contracts drawn. Whether that will happen sooner rather than later it remains to be seen, but I think if nothing happens against Newcastle points wise tomorrow, you can expect to hear something of that nature. We're in 15th. We've only got 29 points. We've got 2 wins in our last 16 games. Frank's got the worst record of any Big Six manager, basically. We're only 6 points above the relegation zone, so we lose, West Ham wins. If it's 3 points, I don't think this team has the guts for a relegation fight. Don't get me wrong, I think there's a team in there. Second half Man City showed that. First 30 odd minutes against Man United. Frank was brought in as this steady, calming influence, and I don't see it. What did we have? How many shots on target against United? So I'll keep updating on what I can hear, but I think appointing an interim is the only option here. You can use the Pochettino back room as a distraction as long as you want, but if the board doesn't act now, we're going to be in real trouble very, very quickly here, and I can't impress upon everybody that we need to make our voices heard whichever way possibly we can. It doesn't have to be through content creation. It can be any way, shape or form, just to try and impress upon the club that this is very, very serious. We can't trust the process anymore. If the board wants to save whatever of their reputation that they have left, they sack Frank tonight. They're bringing an interim, and then they can say whatever they want about Poch in the summer. But something has to give, and it has to give now. Shadow Spurs out.